Oh, hey there. Come on in. We're just about to start. Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian, a fun weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy lifestyle. I'm Rob, and together with my wife Sandra, we invite you to join us on this informative and entertaining journey through the complex world of healthy eating.
Join us each week as we strive to help you with transforming your overall health and relationship with food through up-to-date, evidence-based nutrition information. Are you moving your body regularly? As we age, it's easy to stop moving, to stop exercising, to complain that our body is just too stiff to go for a walk. This may be a red flag, a warning that your body and physical health may be on a downward cycle. Tune in to today's episode to hear how to prevent sarcopenia and why it's critical for good health.
Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian. Hello, Sandra.
Hi, Rob.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm good. We're talking about elderly workouts.
Elderly workouts?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, there's a lot of people I see who have aging parents, and they're worried about their independence. They're worried about their nutrition. They're worried about their quality of life. And one aspect that comes up over and over again is helping older people to stay active.
Ah, okay. I thought it was like a new trendy thing you'd seen on Instagram or something called the elderly workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't quite sure how that worked.
I know. And we've done lots of episodes on various aspects of seniors' nutrition and helping seniors prevent sarcopenia, which is, do you remember what sarcopenia means?
Is it like related to their muscle, like losing muscles?
Exactly.
Muscle strength? Or
age-related muscle decline. And as people age, they, if they're not using their muscle, you lose it quickly.
Well, that happens to everybody, right? But as you age, I think you lose it more or faster or something, or...
Yeah.
Or is it just because you're using it less? So it seems like it's probably both.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of factors involved there. And we're going to talk about like why it's important for people to keep active into their older years and how that might look and what type of activities. And it's for a lot of our listeners who are like similar to our age, who have older parents, aging parents, and a lot of listeners are over 65. And so that's kind of the age group we're looking at, is people that are over 65, and everybody's at a different level of health and activity. So yeah, it's, I think this will be a really valuable episode.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all have to keep in shape. And I know we're in our 50s, and I'm starting to get to the age where things hurt more often. We're super active. So, I mean, that's related. But when you're a lot younger, you can give her all the time, and, you hurt, but you get up the next day and just do it again, and you can get through it. But as you get older, your body starts to creak and things hurt, and it prevents you sometimes from wanting to be active, because your body hurts. But the irony is like you need to be active in order to kind of like keep your body in good shape, and you got to push yourself a little bit harder.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember last week you mentioned something about, I wanted to do, like, my SMART goal was to do yoga in the morning, like every morning, get up and do a little bit of a yoga stretch. And that's part of it. I mean, that does help prepare your body for the day ahead. Just like stretching, flexibility.
It helps a lot. I actually did it once this week, and I could barely touch my toes because we've just been going hard with our summer activities and playing hard, and yeah, my body was pretty stiff, and yeah, but after a few days, of regular stretching, and it makes a difference. You notice it right away.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to talk about 7 reasons why. So 7 reasons why it's important to keep the body moving in older years, and actually for everybody. But
especially for in older years, because you'll notice the effects of not exercising more when you're older.
Yeah, and a lot of people you hear people say, I'm too old for that, or, oh, I'm just aging, or I can't do that because of my age, or kind of blaming their age on...
Or using their age as an excuse to not do stuff. Yeah. Or saying, why do I need muscles? I don't do anything.
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah. So the first reason why would be the physical health. So maintain physical health, and we'll talk about some components to that. What about physical health, Rob? What do you think incorporate, like when we're thinking about physical health?
Well, you want to be able to stand.
Right.
You want to be able to walk. You want to be able to climb stairs. You want to be able to, it keeps your independence. Like as soon as you lose your mobility, that's one big step down in the wrong direction, you're starting to put yourself at danger of falling.
Yeah. So the muscle strength and mass. So I just want to break this down a little bit more for people. We talked about preventing sarcopenia. So that's like maintaining your muscle strength and your muscle mass. And episode 37, we did nutrition for seniors, and we talked all about preventing sarcopenia, because we know that in Canada, anyways, there was a study with people who are hospitalized, and those who are over 65 years of age, over half of those people were malnourished. So clinically malnourished. So we know that is something that's happening in the community, like people living at home, people like independent living people that end up in the hospital that are over 65 could be malnourished. So part of that is the nutrition, like their food, what they're not eating, or like they're not eating enough. A lot of times they're not eating enough protein, they're not eating enough meals and snacks or balance, but also they have sarcopenia, which is loss of lean muscle. So we want to prevent that. And in like later on in the episode, we'll talk about how and what to do to help prevent that.
Perfect.
Also, the other part is bone health. So what happens if we're not taking care of our bones since we're young?
Well, they get weak, right? You get osteoporosis, what is osteoporosis? Like, what's the definition of that? Just like your bones are weaker or more potential to fail, or? Yeah,
well, actually think of Swiss cheese.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like they deteriorate.
Yeah, they're just, they don't have enough building blocks to maintain that matrix of the bone structure. So bone is not like a rock where it's like static your whole life. It's constantly changing, and it depends on what you're eating and how you're moving, your like activity level. The vitamin D helps your gut absorb calcium. And there's lots of vitamins and minerals that help with the bone matrix, the structure of the bone. And so it's rebuilding and like breaking down and rebuilding constantly, because our body has this homeostatic level of calcium in our blood. And that changes depending on, what we're eating and the quality of the diet and our activity. So like weight bearing activity and gravity that's like stressing the bone. So we did a whole episode on them bones. Episode 18, it was way early, all about the skeleton and bone health and calcium, vitamin D, exercise. And also we did another episode on episode 67, all about calcium supplements. So people can refer back to that for more information about bone health and helping to prevent osteoporosis as you age. And this is important in men and women. I think we hear a lot about it for women because as you go through menopause, you are more at risk for osteoporosis and losing bone mass because of your estrogen levels are declining. But it's also important in men, and this is a risk factor for men too. So all of the prevention strategies are important for both sexes.
Right. Okay.
All right. And then the other aspect of maintaining physical health, including the muscle strength and mass and your bone health, would be your cardiovascular health. So moving your body will help with your heart function and your cardiovascular system and helping reduce your risk of heart attack, your risk of stroke, your risk of high blood pressure. So just moving the body aerobically, like so getting the heart rate up will actually help with preventing cardiovascular disease and all of the issues that happen with your circulatory function.
Right, right.
All right. So that's the first reason why. Second reason, and this, you mentioned this earlier when you ranted a little bit about people losing independence and
ranting.
No, that was good. It was good. I like that your passion because you get it and you understand that this is really important for people to keep moving, keep their daily activity up. So number 2 is enhancing mobility and balance.
Oh, okay. And that's sort of related to the first one, I guess, right?
Yeah. It's
just a bit more specific as far as balance and your ability to move your body.
That's right. That's right. And for the prime reason, well, to keep moving and independence, but a prime reason would be to prevent falls because that is the leading cause of injury in people over 65. Mm-hmm. And you know what happens when someone falls?
Well, they start to go downhill. They go to hospital and then they get all sorts of other issues and things break and they're susceptible to a lot of other stuff. It just opens the door to so many other things. And
a lot of times that's when the osteoporosis is actually diagnosed and found. They've had a fall and they've gone to hospital and they've broken a bone. And then on those diagnostic bone scans, they realize that they have osteoporosis or advanced osteoporosis. And this is not good because a lot of times when people have had that fall and they're in hospital, that's leading to a downward cycle of possibly not going home and have an independent living life anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you might have to go into long-term care or you aren't able to have the mobility and stay independent. Yeah, like I was saying before, like when you're like 16 and you break a bone, you're healed in no time and you're out doing your stuff again. But when you're older and you break a bone, it's a long road to recovery and you lose a lot in that process. Like you can't function the same and it's just the start of the decline, like Sandra was saying, and she's seen that so much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And we're going to talk about a little bit of like later on in how you can help maintain mobility and balance to help keep you independent, and keep you moving. The other part of the enhancing the mobility is, in addition to preventing falls, is joint health. So we want to make sure that we don't have pain and stiffness. We want to have flexibility. And we did a whole episode with a guest, Samantha Holgren, on arthritis, episode 99, and foods to help with arthritis. And we we had a whole episode on what to eat for arthritis and other elements of arthritis. So this is really worthwhile for people to check out because we go into detail about arthritis and prevention. And we also did an episode on gout, which is a type of arthritis. And that was episode 61. Yeah, lots of good information in those episodes. So that's the first 2 reasons why it's important to stay active in older years, maintain physical health, enhance mobility and balance. And number 3, mental health benefits.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those that you don't think about.
You don't think about.
Yeah, you don't.
That's awesome. Yeah. So cognitive function, it's really important for the brain health to have the blood flow to the brain, right? So exercise and moving your body helps with blood flow throughout your body and your brain. And that can reduce the risk of short-term memory loss or cognitive decline, eventually dementia. We did a whole episode on the mind diet, episode 14. It's one of the original episodes, like way back, but it's a powerful one all about how to eat to help possibly reduce your risk of dementia by at least 7 years, like extend the time in terms of if you are going to develop dementia, then you can stave it off for another 7 years if you're eating the right foods and having the right type of lifestyle in terms of activities and dietary balance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like what I meant when I said you don't think about it is when people think about health, they often think about their physical health, and we often don't think about our mental health. But that's just as important, and you can improve your mental health by being physical and eating right. It's all the same part of just living a healthy life, but it does affect your mental health, and it is part of the one of the things we need to think about.
Absolutely. It's a big part of the equation. Yeah. No, I think you're right. People don't think about mental health as something that affects aging.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Because you know, like how you think and your mindset can definitely influence what you do every day and your habits and your lifestyle, what you're eating, how you're moving. So all those things can impact your overall cognition and brain.
Yeah, it's like the whole mind over matter concept, right?
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so, refer back to the mind diet to see what that's all about in episode 14. The other part of the mental health benefits would be the emotional well-being. So just feeling better about yourself. We often hear that people, if they're watching the news constantly and the negativity, what do they say about the news? What leads?
If it bleeds, it leads.
Right. Like, so it's usually the news is often the negative. It's all like what is wrong with the world, like all the disasters happening, all the wars, everything that really there's not a lot we can do sitting, in our living room watching the TV. And it's just like so bad for our system because we're just getting bombarded with negativity. So that's the other thing about moving your body and helping with mental health benefits, like the emotional well-being. So when we actually start moving and doing some activity, it can actually improve your mood. It can reduce anxiety and depression and can enhance your overall mental well-being. So it's really important. It's that balance in life, right? So if you're finding that you're sitting in your lazy boy watching the media, then that might be something to, start to incorporate more of that activity somehow in your day. Okay, so the number 4 reason why it's important for people to continue to move their body in older years would be social.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it reduces social isolation by just going for a walk, maybe going to the pool. Maybe there's fitness classes in your community that are like chair yoga, or there's different levels. Like there's different programs aimed at different ages.
Levels of fitness.
Yeah, levels of fitness too. Yeah, like in our community, we have the Sunshine Club, which is like aimed for people over 55. And then they have all different activities. They have like, all the way from like bike tours to ping pong, but chair yoga.
All sorts of swimming related, not swimming per se, but things in the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's based on like, they do it up to like people in their hundreds because it's, it's not strenuous. It's tailored for the certain skill level and activity level.
Mm-hmm.
And age.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the other aspect, is the social, to reduce the isolation of being at home alone. Maybe, if you're alone or with your partner, but just it's good to get out and mingle and see other people and just talk to other people.
Exactly.
All right. The next one is number 5 reason why it's important to keep moving in older years is independence and quality of life. And you mentioned the independence is so key.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah. Like you just feel like you're still capable of moving. Like as soon as you lose that, it affects so much, and you don't realize how much it affects until you don't have it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, dang, I should have stayed on top of that, and now I can't.
Yeah, exactly. And just like the little things, the activities of daily living, they're called, like just, dressing yourself and getting into the shower and going to the washroom, like those kind of things, and just cooking a meal. Like these are things people take for granted when they're younger because you just can do it. But as you get older and maybe you are like losing muscle, maybe you're losing, weight, kind of unexplained weight loss. And a lot of times it could be muscle. And if you're worried about being active or moving your body, then you might like be hesitant to do activity, but then it can lead to affecting your quality of life, your independence. So we want to make sure that people get the message that it's really important. Like prevention is like an ounce of prevention is like worth a pound of cure.
Yeah, I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was episode 37. We talked all about this, and we did mention that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a good one to listen to again. So the number 6 reason is chronic disease management. So people that have cardiovascular health problems, maybe congestive heart failure, or have had issues with heart attack, or have had a stroke, or possibly living with diabetes, all of these conditions that people have, it's really important to keep moving because that improves the therapy. It helps with the effectiveness of medication you might be on. It really helps with the treatment outcomes. That's always part of the prescription, is not sitting and lying down. You know what I mean? Like part of the prescription is to
keep moving,
keep getting up, keep like sit to stand, like just those things that you can keep doing. It's really an essential piece of the puzzle when you want to maintain independence, you want to maintain your health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Because it's so easy. Like when your body hurts, it's so easy just to say, oh, I'm just going to sit and put my feet up. And really what you should be doing is kind of like pushing through and going for an extra little bit of a walk to keep your body moving. Because what happens if you keep sitting and putting your feet up, eventually you won't be able to walk anymore because your body, it's like it forgets how, and your muscles all just shut down. It's like, oh, I guess we don't need the walking muscles anymore. We're not doing that. So, they dry up, so to speak.
Yeah, you lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And
yeah, there's so much truth to that.
Do you remember in the Blue Zones when we watched some of those episodes? And
oh, yeah.
Do you remember a lot of the areas, they sit on the floor?
That was in Japan, yeah.
Yeah.
Okinawa, Japan.
Yeah, they sit on the floor, cross-legged, into their 80s, 90s, 100s, elderly people that I don't even know if they would be called elderly because they're still quite...
Well, their age is elderly, but their bodily functions are, they were more limber than me.
Yeah. And that's part of our society is like the lazy boy and the, comfy chairs and
the remotes.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to get up to do anything. Everything, I can just push a button and everything. Yeah.
And we have to work at like struggling. Like we have to work at making things a little bit more difficult because the difficulty is good for our bones. It's good for our maintaining independence. Like we have to work at keeping active.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So even I remember one time a couple of years ago, you're like, we should get rid of a lot of our couches and chairs. We should have more of a active household so that we're not like sitting on our butts all the time.
Well, we went to friends of there's a reason I said that. We went to our friend's house and they basically built like just a big open concept space, and they had a climbing wall on one side, and their kids would be like, on their skateboards and stuff. And it was just like super active. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, it's not like, I mean, they did have a couch and a sitting area, but the house wasn't centered around everyone sitting down all the time. There was activity centers in the house, and then they had young kids. So, I mean, they wanted to encourage their kids to keep moving. But it was such a unique concept for a living space. Oh, yeah. I loved it.
I know. And I know that there's a lot of offices now where they have like the ball or like the standing desk or, a way to kind of be a bit more active in your office, your work environment. So that's really good that concept is changing. But, even as we age and, we're in our house a lot more, it's important that we're not sitting down like for extended periods of time. Like, it's really important to get up quite often, like every half hour. Like, if you can even set your alarm to like, oh, I got to get up, and even like go to the kitchen, get a glass of water, go to the washroom, whatever. So it's like just to remember to get up. So it kind of wakes your metabolism up. It wakes your body up. Like, I'm not sleeping right now, because your body just thinks and sedentarism is like, worse than smoking for our health. So, and it's easier as we get older to become more sedentary. And that's what this whole episode is about, is rebelling against that and trying to keep moving and trying to keep active.
Yeah. It's ironic. My view right now through our kind of living room into the dining room, let me just count quickly here. There's 17 places to sit.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Chairs, couches, love seats, dining room table.
Like, there's only 4 of us that live here, and 2 of them aren't here half the time. It's like, why do we have so many places to sit?
Isn't that interesting?
But we're not, that's everybody's house.
Yeah.
Right? It's very focused on, like, when you move into a house, it's like, well, we need places to sit. And everywhere. We need furniture and places to sit. It's just the mentality. It's our culture. It's so interesting. And like we were saying, in Okinawa in Japan, they had very little furniture. They all sat on the floor, which doesn't sound comfortable, but the flip side is it keeps your body limber and in shape. And yeah, it's a totally different way of thinking,
It totally is. Yeah. Yeah. And that leads us into the number 7 reason why to keep active as you get older is longevity. It really affects your vitality and moving your body and exercising, doing any kind of weight-bearing exercise or aerobic type of movement or walking. And we're going to talk about specifics in a minute, but it really is associated with longer lifespan. And that's what we see in the blue zones.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are really great documentaries to look at, or even just to, like, I don't know if the whole documentary is available online, but even just to Google it and see a little bit of information about the concept of the blue zones and what it means and how they do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, bottom line is exercise is essential for older adults, like over 65. And it helps to maintain your physical health. It enhances mobility and balance, your mental health, your social interaction, reducing isolation. It helps to maintain independence and quality of life, helps with improving the outlook of chronic disease management and longevity. So those are the 7 main reasons why it's essential and critical for older people to keep moving their body. And then just a quick talk about what type of activity. So we talked a little bit about aerobics, and what kind of aerobics are you thinking that is something that most elderly people can do if they're still walking? I mean, if they're still mobile.
Well, first of all, let me just say that a lot of people think exercise is you got to go to the gym and like pump iron, or you got to get on a treadmill, or you got to do like a sweaty aerobics class. And that's true to a point, but exercise can just be walking down the hall.
Yeah.
Like, my parents live in an apartment building. They get exercise by walking. They live on the top floor, so they walk the floor and then they go down the stairs and walk the next floor, and that's perfect. That's not a fancy gym or a fancy piece of equipment. That's just moving your body.
Yeah, exactly. It's good for cardiovascular health. It's good for your muscles. It's good for your mood, social, if you meet people in the hallway, and flexibility.
Exactly.
Right? So it's
totally.
Yeah. No, that's good. And then another one is swimming. So for some people, getting to the pool, especially in winter or even, in summer, swimming is good for flexibility, helping with those joints. It's non-weight bearing. So that aspect is good for movement. It's not necessarily great for bone health, but that's okay because flexibility is a big part of activity. And we want to, just any way to move your body a bit more. So it doesn't all have to be weight bearing.
Well, just getting to the pool is your weight bearing, cardio, walking,
Totally.
however you get there, there's walking involved. So,
there's so many benefits,
mixed.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Swimming is such a great, an activity you can do from birth to death, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
And cycling is something, even like a stationary bike or a recumbent bike or something like that could be helpful for especially leg muscles to maintain tone and strength and mass in your leg muscles.
You don't even need a bike to do it. You can just lay on the floor and pretend you're on a bike.
Yes.
Yeah, just lay on your back on the floor and cycle. Pretend your legs are on a bike and cycle them. It's just moving your body, a little bit of muscle. It helps your muscles a little bit, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And actually that leads me into floor exercises. So anything like a plank or a sit up or stretching your legs, like that's kind of like the yoga routine in the morning that I do. Mm-hmm. It's just like, moving your arms or your legs, doing any kind of crunches or planks or any kind of floor activity that helps with your flexibility and mobility.
Yeah. And that's huge. I think the mobility and the flexibility part is something that holds a lot of people back because once your body starts to get stiff and sore, it prevents you from wanting to do any kind of exercise because it's like, oh, my body hurts. I'll wait till it feels better. But the irony is you need to use your body in order to make it feel better. So if you don't stretch and exercise, it's never going to feel better. It's just going to get worse. And then you're just slowly getting worse over time.
That's right. Exactly. I'm glad you said that because that's a red flag. Like if you're starting to have pain or discomfort or your joint stiffness, that is a red flag that maybe you haven't been moving your body in the right way. And, there's definitely reaching out to professionals like physiotherapists or other rehab professionals to help with your journey back to moving your body more in a safe way for you is really important.
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing for aerobic would be like gardening, just like, moving around and gardening can actually be, because you've been like mowing the lawn and doing a lot of yard work. And it can be taxing to the body. Like it's definitely exercise, right?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. There's a lot of different movements and motions involved and they don't all feel good, but it's all good for your body. So, and there's results with gardening too. Like, you get to see pretty flowers or whatever. You get to grow tomatoes or something, So there's that payoff as well versus just doing a bunch of sit-ups.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's kind of a win-win.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, and so we talked about aerobic, but there's strength training too, like just lifting cans or doing any kind of the floor exercises that we talked about or biceps or leg presses or shoulders, like anything to help with your flexibility and with the strength. So the weight bearing using gravity to help with stressing the bones and stressing the muscles to maintain that bone mass and the muscle mass.
And there's a lot of different pieces of equipment that you can get that are really inexpensive. You can get the little the bands, like the little stretchy rubber band things. I've got the little hand squeezer things.
That's hard. Those are hard.
Yeah, but I just keep them beside the TV, and when we're sitting on the couch with our feet up, which a lot of people do, and that's fine once in a while, I just grab those, and I use them, sitting in my lazy boy chair, but I'm exercising, or the bands, you could do some leg exercises while you're sitting watching your show, or...
I like that thing that you built for your mom, like a little box, like step
It's just a little
box.
step, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap to buy too. You can find those. They're like a little toddler step or a grandma step.
Right.
Right. But it's just, I don't know, it's about 6 inches tall, and it's just, I'm a woodworker, so I just built your little wooden box, but you can definitely buy them pretty cheap too. It's wherever you buy things.
Yeah, it's like a stepper, like just like with step aerobics. So you have a step and then you just go up and down, like just if you're watching something or doing something, you can just do that a certain amount in the day.
Yeah, because climbing stairs, I mean, it's what we're trying to emulate. Climbing stairs is so good for you because it works those big leg muscles, and those are the first ones to go. And if they go, that's what's holding you up. So if your leg muscles are weak and you're not able to walk, you're not able to do stairs, that's going to really limit a lot of where you're able to go and what you're able to do. So you really want to make sure that you keep those muscles in particular nice and strong. And that's something you can easily do. Like my mom's just got it behind the couch, so she kind of puts her hands on the couch and just up and down on this little step while she's watching her show. And it's a pretty easy way to get some exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Keep those leg muscles strong.
And dancing.
I don't know if she dances on it, but you could.
No, I mean just dancing around the room. I mean, just that's as an activity.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah, okay. Just, because that dancing is flexible and moves your body. It's fun. It's like it gives you a little bit of a feeling young and silly. And
exactly.
That's always good too.
It just releases some energy too. Dancing always seems to, just let your freak flag fly, as they say.
That's right. Yeah. So that kind of is, I think we covered most of those aspects of moving the body and keeping active and the reasons why and how to do it and why it's what is the importance of it.
Mm-hmm. And I think for most people, there's some form of exercise that you can get regardless of what your situation is. Because like we said before, so many people make excuses that prevent them from doing exercise. And that might be true in some cases, but I think there's always something that you can still do, and you want to keep that exercise regular, or your body's just going to say, sorry, you don't need me anymore. I'm just going to start shutting down. And then, you don't want to go in that direction. So make sure you keep your body healthy, keep it moving.
Absolutely. Good. So hopefully people can check out some of those episodes. We'll link them in the show notes from previous episodes about our skeleton and calcium and the mind diet, the arthritis episodes. So all of those will be linked. And bottom line, please keep moving as you age.
Absolutely. So thanks for joining us today. As Sandra said, we will link those episodes in the show notes. We've also got a ton of information and some great blog posts on our website. You can check those out as well. It's mywifethedietitian.com. You can send us an email if you're curious about, you have questions about the show, or you want to ask a question for us to answer on the show. We love listener questions. We answer those all the time. So feel free to drop us a line through email. That is mywifetherd@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You're welcome to comment there or send us a message through there as well. We love feedback of any kind. Speaking of feedback, you can rate and review the show as well. That's super helpful for us. It's also super helpful for other people looking for a cool show like this to listen to. They'll read your awesome review and say, hey, that sounds like a good show for me. So that would be amazing. You can also share the show with your friends. That's a good way to help new people find it, and just share the information that you're learning on here. If you're enjoying it, then let your friends in on it too. And don't forget to join our newsletter. That's you can sign up for that on our website. That's our weekly newsletter. Lots of tips, recipes, different information on there. So it's free to join. So have a look for that. So that is it for this week. Well, this week until Wednesday, when we have our nutrition nuggets. We will be back then. That's our little mini midweek episode. So stay tuned for that. And until then, have a great week, everybody. Go get your body moving.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for joining us today on My Wife, the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.